Has this ever happened to you? Do I have the solution to all of your problems in the world of Minecraft? The Super Brewer. This big device right here, with just the push of a couple buttons, allows you to make any potion. Designed and built by me and my good friend Ziel. Now let's get started. Some of the blocks you are going to need are going to be your average redstone blocks, such as repeaters, comparators, redstone torches, hoppers, droppers, sticky pistons, redstone blocks, and a couple blocks of your choice. To start off, we're going to go ahead and make the selection system here. You're just going to want a row of repeaters with some redstone dust on the floor with a couple blocks out. 4 blocks to be precise. Each one of these is going to have a repeater on it set to 4 ticks. After that, we can go ahead and place in our buttons, which will be used for the selection system to make your choice of potion. Then we're going to want to go ahead and make a torch tower coming up to the top. This system that we're putting in right now is going to act as our reset button. So if you choose to go ahead and just unselect all the potions that you have selected, you can go ahead and do that. So with this little system here, as well as when you make a choice on your potion, it will automatically unselect whichever potion you had previously selected. Then we're going to go ahead and add some blocks coming off of these repeater lines here, going right into droppers with hoppers going right back into them on top. And now each one of these droppers, you're going to want to place any block. It can be absolutely anything, just so long as it has one item inside of each one. Coming right off here at the top, we're going to go ahead and put some comparators to check the outputs of each of these hoppers. And then we're going to be running this line along the top of each hopper to go ahead and lock that system, just so we can actually make a selection choice here. Now we're going to go ahead and add a double layered piston array here, and you will see why we're actually doing it 2 layers instead of just 1 in just a moment. So that is pretty much it for the selection system. Now we're going to go ahead and get started on the actual system to go ahead and make our recipes. We're going to go ahead and place some droppers along with some glass and ice here at the base. Now this is going to act as a water stream to transport all of our items that we need for each potion into the actual potion brewing stand. We're going to go ahead and want to put a roof over it just to keep all items contained here. And then we're going to put some hoppers along the top. This is going to act as our refill station, so we can go ahead and actually just refill these very simply and easily. Basically, we're just going to be making an item sorter here up at the top of these hoppers going into the droppers for our brewing system. Now I'm just making this super quick on the item sorter. If you guys haven't made an item sorter before, make sure to leave a comment below and I will do a simple tutorial on how to make one of these. It's actually not too difficult, but I can show you all the details and anything if you've never built a item sorter before. But pretty much all you're doing is pulling a comparator output and running it back into the system of hoppers to basically lock the hoppers and keeping only a certain amount of items in there and allow you to filter out whichever you want. So next thing we're going to do is basically allow the brew button to actually work. Now, so what this does is it allows you to make a selection and change your choice without worrying about the system automatically starting to brew once you've made that selection. This makes it so you can change your decision, allowing it to go ahead and not actually brew the potion until you select to do so. All we're doing is running some inputs through the torches here. Now this isn't going to affect the rest of the system because the block that the torches are powering actually have repeaters on them, preventing any interference between the two circuitry boards here. Then we're going to go ahead and take this alongside over here next to the selection, and like I said, this is going to be our brew button to go ahead and actually process the potion. We're going to go ahead and make a torch tower up to the top, and now we do want to make sure that this redstone here is powered. I accidentally put an inverted torch at the top there. I'm going to have to go back and fix that, which I do right here. So now we can see that all these repeaters are going to be powered off. Now pretty much these repeaters that I just showed you, they're going to be actually sending the power into each of the droppers for the potions, and the selection will actually enable the piston to push upward, allowing that circuit to go through. And that is why we actually have to have it double layered pistons rather than just single layer to actually make room for the brew button as well as the item sorter for each of these droppers. Now we're going to go ahead and add in some hoppers as well as the brewing stand here. I like to go with 2 hoppers on top and kind of just allow them a little bit more leeway and some room for us to work with. We're going to go ahead and extend out this ice path here just to make it 8 blocks, just to keep it simple for the tutorial terms. We're going to go ahead and add some more hoppers to the side. This is going to feed in our water bottles, and the other side here is going to feed in our blaze powder. Now here we're actually going to want to use a dispenser just so we can actually set up the system to go ahead and dispense some water bottles. And just to make it easier and conserve space, we're not actually going to be dispensing straight water bottles. We'll be having this filled with just glass bottles, dispensing out into water, filling them, and dropping it into the hoppers going into the brewing stand. We're going to want to add one more dropper here facing downwards into the hopper from the top. This one is going to house our nether wart, because every potion pretty much starts with the nether wart, so that's going to be the first ingredient that runs in. Since it's right above, we don't have to worry about any other ingredients from the water stream beating the nether wart to the brewing stand. We're just going to take an output running from our brewing button up to that dropper there, and now we're just going to add in a system, which I had done here, pretty much just inverted torch off of the redstone line with 4 repeaters set to 4 ticks and an observer running off the edge of that into that dropper there, or dispenser, and that's going to go ahead and allow the dispenser to fire 3 times for all 3 of the water bottles. Next thing we're going to want to do is start setting up our output system to go ahead and send out our brewed potions, and that's going to be done pretty much by pulling a comparator output of the hopper right above the brewing stand, and what we're going to do here is pretty much lock the hoppers underneath the brewing stand until the final ingredient has gone into the brewing stand and has finished brewing. Normally it takes about 20 seconds for each ingredient, so we're just going to have to make a couple of comparator relays here, and this is going to lock the brewer or the hopper from pulling out any potions prematurely here. Now of course I accidentally put all these backwards here, as you can see in just a moment, and I had to go back and actually fix that. But we're going to add, it's going to be 4 arrays of the comparator lines here. First one's going to be 4 total comparators. The second one will be 6 total comparators, I believe. I'm sorry, 8 total comparators there. The next one will be 12, and then we're going to have to add on one more comparator array of 6, I believe. But this simply just runs that hopper and locks the system. Now, of course, you can actually perfect the timing and get it exactly whenever the final potion or the final ingredient actually goes in and gets brewed. But just for simple purposes, I went ahead and just added just enough to go ahead and fill that system. And we're actually going to want to completely fill that dispenser there with the glass bottles, every single slot, just because if not, the dispenser will go ahead and pull those glass bottles or the water bottles back into itself. Then we're going to go ahead and add in the ingredients to each of these droppers here. Now just for the sake of the video, I only added one ingredient, which is the magma cream for fire resistance. And now you see if I push the selection button, this left piston right here fires up, opening the block right there for the signal to actually go through to that dropper. Now as you see, I push the button, you can see that magma cream going right in there. But of course I kind of messed up a little bit on the circuitry here on the timing, which is what I was talking about earlier with the comparators being faced the wrong way. So it didn't exactly work out well here, but I'm going to go ahead and fix those little problems like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull out the magma cream, and I also realized that none of the water bottles actually went in, nor the nether wart, because I forgot to link up the connection as well as fill the entire dispenser with that. As you see, I'm trying to find where all those went here. And that's when I realized that dispensers would pull back the water bottles if they're not completely filled. Which is why I went ahead and actually filled the dispenser with the water bottles to ensure that every slot was filled so they wouldn't run dry. So I went ahead and did that here, as well as connect the circuit here for the nether wart. I just had it disconnected to run a few other tests, and now everything should be in proper working order. Let's go ahead and run another test on it. Just after I put this blaze powder in there, and you can see that all the blaze powder immediately gets dispensed right into that brewing stand. So water bottles are filled, nether wart's filled, first ingredient just for the test is filled, as well as blaze powder, and we are good to run another test. So as you can see, everything's working perfectly fine. We've got 3 water bottles in the system, our nether wart's already first in there, magma cream's waiting in line and has locked the bottom hopper. Then after that one goes in, the magma cream goes in, shutting off the system to actually lock that bottom hopper and get set on a timer. But here I actually didn't set the timer long enough, so the potion isn't going to finish. It's going to go ahead and take out those water bottles before the magma cream actually finished brewing those. So I went ahead and just added another simple little comparator array right over here. In this one I did 6 comparators. And now that should be enough time to go ahead and keep all those potions in there until the brew is completely finished. So we're going to go ahead and run another test right now. And of course, this is completely expandable, so you would just extend the selection panel and the brew button circuitry inputs all the way down through as many potions as you need. You just got to make sure that the far left side here with the locking mechanism as well as the nether wart and water bottles remains the same. Everything else will work just fine. So you see there, ingredients get dispensed. We've got our nether wart, our water bottles, and our timer is extended, so now it should remain locked enough time to go ahead and finish brewing the potion entirely. Now this right here, I put these other pistons here just so you can actually run those lines off into a selection display to display exactly what you have selected currently. Now we can see here, just to make sure that it's enough time to let this finish brewing, and watch. Finish brewing, and perfect timing. You can see that the potions get pulled out and they are potions of fire resistance. Now you can also do this and extend off to the side, add extra features like redstone, glowstone for other potions, increase speed, but that is mainly everything you would need to know in order to actually build this for yourselves. Like I said, you would just have to extend this outward to as many recipes as you would need, and you can go ahead and detail this and design it as you please. Add some load, add some wood around it, make this look nice. But that is the system right there. Push the reset button, everything is unselected, and there we go. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more redstone tutorials.